You had it there, talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They are definitely down the bottom when it comes to the group itself, but the good thing is the point margin is still something they can catch up with as long as they win all their games, and that's the task before Coach Finidi George and his men in terms of defeating the Cheetahs of Benin Republic later this evening. Joining us on the show is the Super Eagles media officer, Promise Efoghe. Promise, good evening. How are you doing? Hello, Promise. Good evening.
Yes, it's been a very warm day, especially in the Super Eagles camp where Stanley Wambili, the goalkeeper, today is his birthday, and that event actually warmed up camp today in preparation for the match against the Benin Republic team in less than an hour from now, and his teammates charged him up, and he of course told them his best birthday wish would be the team picking up a massive win today, which would be the first win, if it happens, as far as the Super Eagles is concerned in the World Cup qualifying series.
Okay, let's look at the mood of the players and technical crew in camp now, and that's as a result of what we saw on Friday. The result was not what most Nigerians were expecting. I'm sure the players also wanted all maximum points against the Bafana, but that didn't happen. The first half as well, lots of question marks concerning the performance. It was improved in the second half, but the win was just, not there for the Eagles to grasp. Now, this is another huge challenge away from home. What's the mood like in camp? Are the players feeling the pressure, or they are all ready to go out and, get all 3 points?
Okay, I can tell you for free that the players are not under any form of pressure. Certainly, this is a game they want to win. It's a game they should win to put themselves in a good position. As far as the World Cup qualifying series is concerned, 3 points from 3 games, 3 points from a possible 9. Not good enough. The players recognize this. They know they have to get themselves back in the groove, and that will begin with picking a win against Benin Republic this evening. Coach Finidi had said over and over again that the Super Eagles had a better performance against the South Africa in the second half of the match in Uyo. And if you've seen the lineup, which is out already, Finidi is starting with the team that played the second half of the game against the South Africa. And he says if the Eagles can give that kind of performance we saw the second stanza against South Africa in Uyo, then they have a very huge chance of beating the Beninois this evening. Not forgetting the fact that the Felix Boyne Stadium here in Abidjan is one venue that the Super Eagles are very familiar with. They played 4 of their African matches at this particular stadium, and it is a neutral ground for both sides, but not so neutral for the Super Eagles because they are familiar with the turf, and perhaps that might just give them some psychological, advantage going into this game. But one thing is very certain, that is the fact that this game could make or mar Nigeria's chances at the World Cup. Though it's a long route, 10 matches in the group, only 3 have been played. Franco Yeka teasing me here. Only 3 have been played. 7 more matches to go. And this game is one the Eagles want to win to boost some level of confidence going forward.
Okay, you mentioned Franco Yeka, teasing you while you were speaking just a few seconds ago. The question then would be this: we know quite well that Fisayo Bashiru, who got the goal for the Eagles against Bafana, did pick up an injury in that match and had to be substituted. But besides Fisayo, are there any other injury concerns within the camp? And should Nigerians expect Fisayo back for possible selection for today's match?
All 23 players are fit. All 23 players are fit, and the coach is spoiled for choice in selection in every department of the game. Fisayo Dele Bashiru picked a knock against South Africa, but he trained the very next day. The doctors worked hard on him and ensured that he recovered fast enough to train the very next day. He wasn't training yesterday, and will be starting from the bench in today's game. Femi Ajayi picked up a knock in the game against South Africa as well, and was substituted in the second half of that encounter. He's starting this game against Benin Republic. It tells you that the coaches have done so well to ensure that the players are not overworked in training, and that when they need to rest, they rest. When they need to train, they train. And so those who pick knocks are back and are back to fitness and ready for selection today.
Okay, you said earlier that all 23 players are fit, so Nigerians should probably get a look at Victor Boniface getting a shot, at minutes, because after the first match, one of the questions posed to Coach Finidi George was, why was Victor Boniface not introduced to that game, considering Paul Onuachu was isolated for the better part of the game. Now, I know quite well you're the media officer, you're not the coach, so you may not have to delve into the tactical, details of the match itself. But considering that we have all players fit, are we looking at squad rotation within what you can get in terms of feelers from the camp?
Okay, I think Nigerians should let the coach do his job. Okay. We've seen situations where superstar players are kept on the bench for tactical reasons. You can have a very good player in your side, you can have world-class player in your team, but it all depends on the opposition. Also depends on the formation you tend to play or the kind of football you want the team to express on the pitch. And so Victor Boniface, fantastic player, no doubt about that. We saw how much and how well he did for Bayer Leverkusen in the outgone season in Europe. He was a key figure in Bayer Leverkusen's ride to the title, the German Bundesliga in Germany. However, this is the Super Eagles of Nigeria, not Bayer Leverkusen. And so he's fit, he's ready to play. As a matter of fact, he ought to have been a part of the second half of the game against South Africa. Unfortunately, Semi Ajayi picked up a knock, and the coach had to substitute a defender for a defender, and so that limited his options in making changes in attack, having brought in Terry Murphy earlier. And so in this particular game against Benin Republic, Terry Murphy starting ahead of Paul Onuachu and Victor Boniface. However, I want to believe very sure that the coaches know what they are doing. The coaches are approaching this game cautiously because it's a game they must win. And at some point in the game, I'm sure Victor Boniface will be given a chance to feature.
Okay, there you have it. The Super Eagles media officer has just given us an hint into what the starting lineup will be, the official starting lineup for the match against Benin Republic. Terry Murphy will take the place of Paul Onuachu in terms of starting the game. Promise, before I let you go, we know quite well that Super Eagles are away from home, but the Benin Republican team as well are not playing right there at home. It is right there in Ivory Coast, so it is a neutral ground, you want to call it. What should we expect in terms of, the fan support, the turnout? We know there are so many Nigerians in Ivory Coast, and we saw them at the last African Cup of Nations. So what should we expect about the turnout itself for today's match for the Super Eagles in terms of support?
Okay, I struggle to get that question, but let me try and see if I can deduce what you mean from that question. I want to believe you're talking about the level of support and the kind of support the Super Eagles will get here.
Yeah, spot on.
At the stadium. Yes, when we arrived at Abidjan yesterday, there were a number of Nigerians at the airport drumming and waving a Nigerian flag. We know that there is a huge number of Nigerians in Ivory Coast. They are very much aware that the Super Eagles have a game today in Abidjan, and I want to believe that they will be patriotic enough to want to come to the stadium to lend their support to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We've got several supporters club factions in Nigeria who all claim that they have branches in every part of Africa. I also want to believe that they must have mobilized their members in Abidjan to come out to support the Super Eagles of Nigeria. With a number of Nigerians in this country, I want to strongly believe that the Super Eagles will not be lacking in support. Well, the fans are beginning to trickle in gradually in their numbers, and I'm sure before kickoff, the stadium should be filled. However, unlike what we saw in Uyo, where the gates were thrown open, it's not the case here in Abidjan. This game is ticketed, and you have to pay to come in to watch this World Cup qualifier.
Okay, I will just leave it at that and wish you and the Super Eagles the very best, especially in terms of the pursuit of 3 maximum points against Benin Republic, right there, coached by former Super Eagles coach, Kenneth Rowe. Thank you so much for your time on the show this evening. Thank you so much. Well, still talking about football matters and staying with